What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Formula 7 Racing. Formula Rise retired from the session. Right, let's turn the volume up because I always turn it down for copyright issues. Let's take that off as well. I've got everything already preloaded by accident. So I need to get rid of all that. So that's that. That's that. I don't know if any of the buttons actually work. Why is there no volume? 1 second. There we go. How are we all? So, why is none of the buttons are working now to get rid of anything? Sorry guys, bear with me. It is all trial and error. There we go. It's just taking a little while to load up. I don't know how to get that. These two that I've got here, I don't know how to get them to come on and off. I can't button bind it, so bear with it. Just let me know if the audio is fine. I'm just going to quickly try and get a button for the two things on the right, the car information and everything. Just bear with me. Let's see if we can sort that out. So, if we can get Dash Studios controls. So, how did I do it? I've got loads, but I can't remember how I did it now. Let me get this. I've not even got the stats getting on either. This is I'm really not all over the place this morning. There's so many systems to load up. That's the problem now. Right, I've not even added the new driver either. Controls. Right, how do I add a new control? Is it called new mapping? Trigger action. No. I can see them all there. So why can't I add another? Oh, there we go. So how do I edit this one? Right. Sorry, bear with me. So what if I just do the driver ahead behind? If we delete that, and then we add that for F10. So new mapping. F10. Sorry, 1 second, guys. Oh, yellow flag. Right, let's just get back to race. We'll sack that off, and we'll get rid of some of this. Let's get rid of. Sorry, sorry everybody. Right. Right, let me do this one. Edit. That's the wrong one. It's the other one. Qualifying. Edit layout. Layout. Let's take that one off. We'll just have the tires for the layout for the qualifying, and then we'll take that off as well. Right, here we go. There we go. We are into the race. So it is Umbra Ghost. Because we've got a lot of players, because people aren't sharing the telemetry, I might take that off today. So I'm going to take this off and just bring up the real one. So here we go, 18 drivers, just under 13 minutes to go. Umbra Ghost is currently the quickest driver on track. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, no worries, Mr. Paul. You don't. It's fine, mate. You know, just trying to improve. That's all. No need to be salty about it, man. Right. So Jabba in the lead in the Ferrari. Umbra Ghost in the Alpine. I'm literally doing it at the start of Q1 for 5 minutes. It's not a big deal. Jabba in the Ferrari leads Umbra Ghost in P2, Theo Townland in P3. Formula Rise already out, and Nimble Cat in the Ferrari is on a lap. How are we all doing? So 12 minutes here in Qatar in Q1. Currently we have 18 drivers on the grid. So at the current moment there will only be 3 drivers eliminated when it comes to it. So Matt is still yet to set a lap time, but he is on a lap. Just bring the track map up. So he's just literally starting his lap. And NMX James, his teammate, is still in the pit lane. Remember, we still have a Constructors' Championship on the line, although it's very minimal that it's going to change. You never know. So, Shining Swarm, it's his debut race here in the Red Bull, and we'll be able to see what he can do. I do need to add him on, so just bear with me. Drivers. So, Shining Swarm. Nationality not known yet. So brilliant, off we go. I'm not sure what happened with Ryan, but we're on board with Shining Swan to see what he can do in his debut. Priz is also on track. He's currently P5 in that Aston Martin, although he was practicing Abu Dhabi instead of Qatar. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do here this evening. So just open up. So down towards turn 10 for the Red Bull driver. Back onto the throttle around turn 11. And he's invalidated it. So Shining Swarm has invalidated it. SRL Matt goes up to P12. We've got a couple of drivers still in the pit lane and still on outlap. Zetu is on track. You know, Zetu finds it really, really difficult to race in Tier 3. And that's where he probably should race. Tier 3 is probably his tier. Unfortunately for him, because of the timings, he races Tier 1. And he's still, you know, he's turned up to so many Tier 1 races as Mad Riot goes wide in that Williams. And that is it for his lap. What about Podge in the McLaren? He's coming down towards turn 10 as well. So the McLaren driver, we ride on board with him. Let's see what the Swedishman can do. He is the front runner. You know what? It might not have the right microphone. Bear with me. It didn't. There we go. Is that better? That should be better. Yeah, so it weren't pulling it up through the mic because I didn't have the mic on when I loaded up Streamlabs. So, Podge in P6, he's the front runner for the Constructors' Championship. We ride on board with Zetu. He's gone purple. Sector 2. Nope, game audio is echoing. Really? That's the first time that the game audio has echoed. What could that be? So Zetu down to the line, and he goes P3. The Aston Martin driver 3 tenths off the back of Jabba and Umbra Ghost. That should be enough to get him through into Q2. Well, now's the time to do it. NMX James is up to P7. I will just have a look at that myself because I've not got the stream up. Obviously, it's all trial and error for the back end of this season, and then for the start of next season, it's going to be so much different. Bear with me. Banana. I can't hear the game echo. 1 second. Let me change desktop audio. No, because And there's nothing else coming. There's literally nothing else coming through. There's literally my mic and the desktop audio. Sounds like the car's in the tunnel. Audio capture. 1 second. Right, 1 second. Let me see if that works. So. So, 1 minute, let me have a look at this. Sorry, everybody. I don't know why they've changed, I really don't. So we'll ride on board with some of the drivers, see if we can do it. Okay, that should be right. I've turned desktop audio down and pulled them in for a different way. So, Cinders and Shining Swamp. Shining Swamp is back on another lap, and Cinders in the McLaren, just coming down towards the line, and he goes P10. Will that be enough to get him in to Q2? Shining Swarm in the Red Bull. Also going to be next. Jabba sets the fastest Sector 2 time of anybody. So the Oracle Red Bull coming down. The audio should be sorted. I will just have another check. So we ride on board with Shining Swarm. So this is probably going to be the first time that he's able to get a lap on the board. Here he comes to the line on his debut, and the Red Bull driver goes P10 just in front of Cinders. So Shining Swarm definitely looks like he's in the correct tier, which is a good thing, and he's up to P10. Is that enough to get him in to Q2? We are about to find out shortly. So we have a couple of drivers on outlaps. Mad Riot, Vicious Vicar, the teammates, the father and son duo, Kevin Gamer, SRL Matt, and Nimblecat up to P9. Where did that come from? The Scuderia driver, who will probably be fighting for the Tier 4 Championship next season alongside Vicious Vicar and Mad Riot and the rest of the gang. I think Cinders is in there as well. So it's going to be very tasty down in Tier 4 next season. But Podge, all he needs to do is finish in the points today. He's actually... yeah, he's got his teammate here, Cinders, and they will be crowned Constructors World Champion with any sort of points, actually. So, yeah, very good for the Papaya team. It's the second time that Podge has not won the Drivers' Championship, but has won the Constructors. So that's saying something if he wins here in Qatar. So it's saying something about him and his teammates being consistent. So, SRL Matt is back out on track. Mad Riot in the Williams. Let's ride on board with Mad Riot, see what he can do. So as he just burns the DRS down in towards turn 1, just hugs the apex, back onto the throttle we go, and then he'll probably just ease off, just slightly touching the brake there, back onto the throttle, make sure he's not invalidating it. He's probably left a little bit of track out there. He's definitely being cautious here around Sector 1. He doesn't want to make any mistakes. This is it. It's got to be now or never, really. But he has got a 3/10 gap to Vicious Vicar. But as we've seen for the majority of the season, Vicious Vicar has been on the quicker side. So is he going to improve? So Vicious Vicar has just started his flying lap as well. So back on board with Mad Riot. So down in towards turn 10. And he's making sure he doesn't invalidate it. He's got to have some decent lap on the board here. Doug is at risk. But he is back out, the Alpine driver, just starting his flying lap down in towards turn 1. But we ride on board with Mad Riot as we head towards turn 15. And he keeps it valid, and that is the main thing. And he's leaving a little bit of battery on the table for that back straight. Down the pit straight we go towards the line. And this is where he burns it, and it is P6, a Mad Riot. That is brilliant. So Mad Riot does get a decent lap on the bottom. Vicious Vicar comes through, goes P9. Doug is now the driver at risk. So what can the Alpine do as he comes around turn 8, 9 and 10? So Kevin Gamer picks up a warning. That'll be speeding into the pit lane. He is out here in Qatar. Kevin Gamer is out. Formula Rye is out. Matt is on a lap. Doug is on a lap. Can Doug be safe? Well, it's got to be SRO Matt or Doug. Or Doug is into Q2, so he's probably pretty safe here, unless Matt pulls out an absolute screamer of a lap and improves by 2.5 seconds. Podge calls it a day in P11. Doug keeps it valid, but he is on the brink of crossing that white line. So around turn 16, here we go, down to the start-finish line, and Doug goes P12. He is safe. SRO Matt is now the only driver that can knock out Cinders, the man fighting for the Constructors' Championship. Remember, because we don't use the generic points format, the drivers can score 55 points between them on a race weekend. So around turn 16, he has a little slide, and if he was improving, it would have all gone. And he does stay at P17. Oh no, he's got another lap. He wasn't on a lap. So there is a couple of drivers slowing down in front of them, and his teammate gets out of the way. No helping hand from the other Haas there of NMX James. He just gets out of the way and lets SRL Matt through as he comes through turn 2 and 3. And you can see how much he's struggling to hold on to that Haas F1 car. And the track is now green as they all start to come into the pit lane. And we ride on board with the final driver. He's kept it valid. That must have been so close for Matt. And whether he's improving or not, we shall find out actually, because I've not got it on actually. So SRO Matt. What's going on, Salute? How are we doing? For a UFRL Formula 1. If you're still here, I didn't mean to be at the start of the stream. Then I didn't mean to be a bit of a, you know what, I didn't mean to come across like that. So I do apologise. SRO Matt down towards turn 16, the right-hander, and then back onto the throttle. He's gone wide. He's kept it valid. He's kept it valid, but it's not going to be enough. And SRO Matt is out in Q1. He will also be racing in Tier 4 next season. So that is it. Matt is out. Kevin Gamer is out. And Formula Rye, who I think Formula Rye actually retired because he said he was in the wrong tier and he didn't feel comfortable qualifying. So that's fair play to him. And I think that's why he's starting from the back. Oh, you're kidding, Salute. On a trip to Budapest. Very nice. Over in Hungary. We've gone to the Hungaroring. Yeah, I thought so, Formula Rye. But both the karting and the track is closed due to the winter season for further construction, apparently. Ah, okay. Well, hopefully under the construction, they make the pitch straight about 2,000 metres longer so we can see overtaking. So that is it for Q1. The season finale. That's a beautiful helmet, by the way, on Matt's head there. So Jabba is the driver fastest in Q1. Then we have Umbra Ghost, Zetu, Theo, Bulldog, Mad Riot, NMX James, Nimblecat, Priz and Super Skills. But the bottom three, it's Formula Rye in the Kick Sauber, SRL Matt in the Haas, and Kevin Game in the V-Cab. Sorry, I just need to put these in because the system doesn't collect every name. Sometimes it's a bit off. So the Aston Martin in P3, who is that? Zetu. It collects all the drivers, but on some of them it won't collect them. Nimble, who was in the other Aston? Priz, weren't it? Yeah, that's fine. And then the Red Bull was Super Skills. And then Vicious Vicar, Podge, Doug. And who was the other Red Bull that nearly went out? Ugh, God, I can't think. Was that was the new one, weren't it? So Shiny something. Brilliant. Right, getting used to the new names. That's it for Q1. All the data's in there. for all of your information at the end of the race. The Romanian government considers building an actual FIA grade racetrack. Bucharest mayor elections are up. So we move in to Q2. So straight after this race, we move on to Tier 2, in which, I'm going to be honest, I've not done a single lap around Qatar in probably, well, since we last raced here, actually. So yeah, probably 6 months. Because we raced it in some 5 laps, did we? Or did we race it at the end of last season? Yeah, but that was on the old gate. I don't think I've ever raced it. I've done a lap here. The only time I've set foot on this track is last week, when I came on to take photographs for the thumbnails for YouTube. That was it. So yeah, Hasbrat, shoot it over, man. I appreciate it. So a few of the drivers are out. Theo Townland being one of them, the world champion that does have a trophy on his way. You know what? The only thing is with trophies this season, a lot of them are going to Europe. You've got at least, probably, if things go as planned. So if things go as planned, I'm going to spec Theo Townland and Podge going to get a trophy. So that's 2 going to Sweden. Cinders is going to get a trophy. So that's England. Brilliant. Lewis is going to get a trophy. That's England. B. Wright is now Netherlands, and he's having them over in Netherlands. That's 2 in Netherlands. Fanfurness in Netherlands, so he's got 1, but he's got 2 that got sent back in season 7, so I've got to send them over as well. Then you've got CJ, England in Tier 2, and Tier 1 is obviously Ben, as I said, up to Netherlands. And is that it? Realistic is Fanfurness, and I thought Ferrari's won one. Was Ferrari's? Yeah, Ferrari's in Tier 1 was constructors, so Mirko to Italy. And who was his bloody teammate? Anyway. Right, so we're on board with the world champion, Theo Townland, as he's going down towards turn 10. So 12 minutes of Q2 left. And the kicks out, but is it a different livery on that kicks out? It looks a bit different. I don't know. It looks a bit different from how I usually visualise it on board. Might just be me. Around turn 15, down towards turn 16. So through the right-hander, it's been pretty flawless from Theo here with his banker lap in Q2, and it's a 1:22.8, and he does go fastest. We have a couple more drivers coming through, one of them being the Mercedes or Bulldog. He goes P2 or 10th behind, and then we have, that was Umbra Ghost that went P1. The Alpine goes fastest here in Q2. So not a bad lap at all. Super Skills in the Red Bull coming down towards turn 16. You've got both Williams, Vicious Vicar and Mad Riot literally towing each other through the line. So Super Skills will be next up. And where's he going to put it? He goes P5. Oh, great stuff from him. And then Jabba in the Ferrari goes into the pit lane, and Doug just swings it in there at the last minute. NMX James and Nimblecat backing out, maybe to go again. Yellow flag waving. NMX James in the Haas. So we'll see what the Irishman can do. I do like that Haas livery. So let's see what he can do. Move this a little bit. You know, this on board. I want it to line up a little bit better. Is that better? Like that? I think it needs to be a little bit smaller. There we go. So NMX James went up to P6 and Podge in to P5. So Umbra Ghost is quickest by about a tenth and a half in front of the world champion. They are both moving up to tier 2 next season. I think, is Umbra Ghost going up? Oh, was Umbra Ghost one of the ones we said we'd keep an eye on? I can't remember. But it's all going to change quite a bit. So, Jabba in the Ferrari is back out. And then fresh soft compounds, as you can see with the car information on the right. And then we can see and watch his tyre temperatures. And as you can see, the temperatures as you come through there on the left, really look at that, 140 degrees on the front left. And the wear on the front left is a lot more. He's gone purple. Sector 1 has Jabba. So, doing what he needs to do here in Qatar is Jabba. So, out of turn 10, around turn 11, on board with the Scuderia. This is what I'm talking about. Everybody putting it on the line for the season finale. It's been, you know what, it's probably been, I've had a lot of great seasons here in F7, and it's probably been up there with one of the best we've ever had. And I'm not even just saying that, it genuinely has been one of the best seasons we've probably ever had. It just feels different. Yeah, exactly, Don. Exactly. there was a few players, so that's why I brought up the normal telemetry to the left, because we couldn't see who was who. So we ride on board with Nimblecat. He is now on a lap. He's currently in P50, yet to set a lap. What can the Ferrari man do? But yeah, as I was saying, it's probably been one of the best seasons we've ever had. As I posted before in the driver's briefing, if you read it. And it's not all about social media numbers, but where credit is due for these drivers to race the way they have and have a platform to showcase them skills, it's really showcased this year. The driver numbers that we've had in the Discord. Oh, Nimblecat loses the rears around turn 10, back onto the throttle. Waste not, want not here for Nimblecat. He may as well finish it off. But yeah, you know the driver numbers from 500 members in the Discord at the start of the season to 605 when we leave this season behind us. And so much support from the drivers and the team and the stewards and the admins to make all of this work, and it's been just super successful. So whilst I'm on air, Nimblecat up to P9, so he's definitely got improvement as well. Whilst we're on air, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has been a part of it. Zetu goes quickest, a 1:22.1 for Zetu, and he goes quickest here in Q2. Shining Swarm and Cinders, here comes Cinders. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you to everybody, the team, the drivers, our sponsors. It's been really, 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 really good. And if you look back, we've probably grown more this season than we have in the previous 2 or 3. It was like on a slow, really slow increase for about 3 seasons, where we was just getting, struggling attendance and just gradually getting bigger and bigger. But this season it's just gone, huge. And there's probably credit to the game as well. The game's a lot better. The league's probably a bit better as well. And the increase is just, and then social media is huge. So that's why I think we've got so many drivers joining. We own a Facebook group as well, where people promote different leagues and drivers and all that. So that's handy to have. And yeah, and the promotion side of things to get drivers in has been really good. So yeah, it's going really well. So thank you all so much, and I hope you continue to race with us next season and enjoy and have fun, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. That's why I created this, that's why I spend money on it and my time and effort into it. Because I enjoy it, it's my hobby, and I enjoy racing, I enjoy running the league and giving you guys back, you know, a good racing league, I hope. And hopefully if you continue to race next season, then great, because it's supposed to be that break from reality, that stresses of life, work life, school life, whatever it might be. Just turn up on a Sunday, just enjoy yourself for 2 hours. Or 4 if you want to race twice, or 6 if you Formula Ride and want to race all day, you know? So that's what it's about. It's just about having fun and enjoying it. But anyway, back to the racing. Shining Swan did invalidate it. Mad Riot and Doug are both on outlaps, so they are going to go again with 4 minutes to go. Shining Swan invalidated it. Super Skills is on a flyer, so we'll ride on board with Super Skills and see what he can do. So around turn 2 and then into turn 3 over the apex. He's used a lot of battery in that first sector, has Super Skills. I mean, his time is very close to NMX James, 3/1000ths separate them as we come down and towards turn 6 at the left-hander. Back onto the throttle, and he's not using that battery out of the corners now, so that will be compromising his times. Interesting. So through turn 8, 9, and then in towards the left-handed hairpin at turn 10, back onto the throttle, and then up towards around 175 miles an hour when he goes into the right-hander. Got 179, pretty good there from Super Skills. So he's got some straight line speed through turn 14 and 15 at the left-hander. A little kink, he just eases off the throttle, doesn't touch the brake pedal, and then back on to the accelerator into turn 16 at the right-hander, and the Red Bull is into the pit lane, so he's pulled out of that lap. He's not going to improve, and that is it. So Mad Riot in the Williams will be next. Where can Mad Riot put it? To the line we go, up to P10. At the moment he is through, but he is on the brink of elimination. Doug starts his flying lap. The Alpine driver burns that DRS all the way down to turn 1. So where can Doug put it? This is it, 2 minutes to go. He knows that Mad Riot is the benchmark here in Qatar. Cinders is back on an outlap. Vicious Vicar, Nimble, Shining Swarm, all still in the pit lane. Here comes Nimble. Vicious Vicar surely will follow him out. Doug and Cinders. So essentially you've got a situation here where if Vicious Vicar improves, he knocks out his son and his teammate out of Q2. Is he going to exit the pit lane? If he doesn't shortly, he's not going to make it. Cinders is on an outlap. Doug is on a flyer though. Around turn 7 and 8 we go. A minute and a half remaining. Umbra Ghost goes quickest in sector 2. And Priz does retire from P6 in the Aston Martin. Around turn 11, the Alpine driver back onto the throttle, up to 180 miles an hour as we go into that right-hander. A little bit quicker than the Red Bull, but he goes wide. He keeps it valid. How has he kept it valid? And there he goes. Umbra Ghost goes quickest. The Alpine has invalidated it. And Doug needs to recharge that battery. I don't know if he's got enough track in front of him to do so. Vicious Vicar is out as he's not got time to go again. Shining Swarm is just coming up towards sector 2. Doug in the Alpine is into the pit lane. Cinders in the Papaya McLaren is now on another flying lap. So can Cinders find that improvement? NMX James has invalidated it, and he's not got a lot of battery. I think that might be it. He's in P9 though. He could potentially still make it through. He's going to go for another lap even without the battery. He's got nothing to lose at this point, but it'll be very, very difficult to improve. Jay Gullen, exclamation mark, Discord mate, if you want to join. Yeah, appreciate you watching. So Cinders in the McLaren down in towards turn 10. The players you can see eliminated at the moment. 3 in the top right, eliminated drivers in Q2. 3 of them are players because they're not sharing this elementary. They're not actually called player. Cinders. That is Theo Townland speeding into the pit lane. The checkered flag has waved, and I think there's an Alpine of Umbra Ghost just in front. It is just in front of Cinders. So he's not going to get a toe though. Here comes Cinders. He's currently P15. Mad Riot is on the brink. And Cinders P13. He's not done enough to get through. And Nimblecat has invalidated it. Shining Swarm is the only driver that could potentially get through. Mad Riot, unbelievably, is still safe with 4 out of the 5 eliminated in Q2. Here comes Shining Swarm. Jabber has gone quickest in Sector 3 as he comes into P3. But it's all on Shining Swarm now, the debutant. Coming in towards turn 10, the Red Bull driver. So around turn 11 up towards turn 12. So is it going to be both Williams out in Q2, or is Mad Riot going to be safe from the grasps of Shining Swarm? He's gone off! He's kept it valid, but that would have cost him, and that might just be enough to overthrow that Q1 entry. Sorry, Q3. So Shining Swarm to the line. Doesn't improve. Mad Riot is through. Brilliant stuff from Mad Riot. She's in to Q3. So Umbra Ghost is quickest in Q2, then Zetu, Jabba, Theo Townland, Podge, Bulldog, Priz, Super Skills, NMX James and Mad Riot. But it's Shining Swarm, Nimble, Cinders, Vicious Vicar and Doug all out in Q2. So Shining Swarm, is that Vietnam, that flag? It's not Hong Kong, is it? Anyway, let me put these stats in. So Umbra Ghost, and then the Aston Martin of Zetu, and then the Ferrari free of Jabba, and then we got Theo Podge, Sharka, the other Aston Martin of Priz, and then the Red Bull of Super Skills, and then who was in the other half? I can't remember. Oh, NMX James. That's it. Right, brilliant. That's it. Q2 results are in on the system. Yeah, cheers, Hasbros. So it is Hong Kong. James, you're still into Q3 though. That's what it's all about. So let me change the flag for Shining Swarm. Ah, it tells me on the system here. In-game name Hong Kong. That's our third driver from Hong Kong. So, into Q3, this is it. No eliminated drivers to go through now. That comes away. So you can see the weather alert is clear. I doubt we'll get any other weather here. No worries, Jay Gullen. Oh, Macau. Oh, very nice. Hey, Priz, see what I can do with my wife. What's going on, Priz? Oh, you're kidding, Nimble. I've done that so many times. I'm pretty sure when I did it in Abu Dhabi, I cut the corner at like turn 17. It invalidated the next lap as well. So some of the drivers on and out lap. I've got buttons set for all sorts of stuff, but I need to write down what they're all set for, to be honest. Because they do things themselves anyway on the game, so that's what, yeah. One on the screenshot and everything. That one. That one brings whoever in the fuck now. So Jabba is on a lap, but it is the Sauber of Theo Townland that will get us underway here in Q3. Oh no, he's pulled over. He's pulled over to get out of the way, so it will be Jabba, but he's got an Aston Martin really close to him. That is Priz, the German driver, right on the back of Jabba. So the Ferrari to the Aston Martin. So of course he goes fastest. Oh, I've took the thing away at the top, haven't I? We'll get that back. F7, that one. So, Zetu, Jabba, Pritz, they're all on laps. It is the Ferrari in towards turn 13. Keeps it valid, and he is really pushing here. You can see it from the way he's trying to control the car as he just slips off the apex. Down in towards turn 16 we go. And he just lunges into that, down towards the line, and the Ferrari driver goes fastest, obviously goes fastest. Priz, a 1:22.7, 9 tenths off the pace, and there goes Zeto, a 1:22.3, half a second behind Jabba. Super Skills, a 1:23.0, still potentially in the Constructors' Championship. Mad Writer, 1:24.6, Theo Tarlin pulled out, NMX James, here comes the McLaren of Podge. And it is P3 for Podge, who is fighting for the Constructors' Championship here this evening. Theo Townland around turn 15 down towards turn 16, but he's not going to set a lap. NMX James sets a fastest sector 3 as he comes through the line and goes P5 in the Haas. So we're still waiting for Umbra Ghost, Bulldog and Theo. I think Theo was just doing another cooldown lap, and now he's on a flyer as the Alpine of Umbra Ghost just exits the pit lane in front of him. A 1:28, a 1:28.8 is the fastest you've done. There's 7 seconds off provisional pole here. You must have that wrong with that. Oh, and that is Theo that runs really wide, but still goes purple sector 1. Are you talking about somewhere else? So, Theo in towards turn 7 and 8. Look how much of that curb that he rides. Is he backing out here? Yeah, I think he's backing out. But he went purple sector 1. So I'm surprised to see him back out of that lap. And he's going to need another chance at this. The problem is he's leaving himself open for just that 1 lap shootout. And if you invalidate on that 1 lap shootout, he's starting from P10. But he's world champion already. They're not in the Constructors fight, obviously through the exclusion of the Saubers. But yeah, so he's not got much to prove here. And if he invalidates and starts P10, it's not the end of the world for the Swedish driver. So Umbra Ghost in the Alpine. Formula Rai, if you're listening as well, if you could DM me a picture for your driver picture, because for some reason when I did the standings the other day it didn't pull up your picture. I don't know if it's because I've changed your name on the app or something, but I'm gonna put it onto like a driver's suit or something. Umbra Ghost has invalidated. Let me show you the tyres, my guy. Not much to show though in qualifying. So Bulldog in the Mercedes, and as you can see from the weather in the top right, it is going to start getting a little bit cloudy. I don't know if that's going to change anything much in the race. Yeah, Bulldog is not on a lap. Umbra Ghost, with 5 minutes remaining, is going to have to go again. So, out of turn 16. Here we go. Let's ride on board with Umbra Ghost, who's been very quick in Q1 and Q2. So, here in Qatar for Tier 3, round 20, the season finale, down in towards turn 1 at the right hand, and you can see him just feathering the brake pedal back onto the accelerator, into turn 2 at the left hander, does the same thing, onto the brakes, back onto the throttle, and then surely flat out through at turn 3 he does, up to around 180 miles an hour. Gets a little bit more pace than we've seen up towards there, but he has to brake a little bit more excessively to get the car pulled back. Down in towards turn 6, it's purple sector 1 for Umbragos. So very nicely done, very neat through that first sector. Up towards turn 7 at the right hander, you can see him not even touching the brake pedal, easing off the throttle, just half throttle through the right, and then full throttle through turn 9. Down in towards the hairpin, onto the brake pedal, rides a lot of the curve, and then back onto the throttle, and it is just pedal to the metal now as we go up towards turn 11 and 12. So purple sector 2, he's gone quickest again for Umbragos. This is a very good lap. He just needs to put it together now. He's not got much where he can go wrong, and that is it. He's pretty much clear down towards turn 16. This is going to be a very, very good lap from Umbragos. Onto the throttle, down towards the line we go. Burns the rest of that battery, and Umbragos P2. He went fastest sector 1, fastest sector 2, and still finished half a second off Jabba. Where has Jabba found that pace? Wow. So, Mad Riot in P9 is now out on a lap. The Williams seeing his teammate go out in Q2, and he just scraped through into Q3, so if he can pick up any extra positions here, he'll be happy with that. You know what actually has, Braz? I've just thought about that. The game says you've got a purple sector when you actually haven't. And what I should really look at is when it comes up in the top right and tells me through the overlays that it's a purple sector. That's when you know it's legit. So Mad Riot does stay P9. Only a tenth behind Super Skills though. But 1.3 off the pole position time. Yeah, would it? That's why we've had to open another tier for the first time in 4 years. Just to, because this is the bottom tier, this is tier 3. And unfortunately the drivers have got quicker and quicker, and some of the drivers need to go up to tier 2, but tier 2 is like really quick, and then they end up being at the back of tier 2, and it's, so we're having a real good shake up for next season. So that was it for Mad Riot and Umbragos. All the other drivers are on out laps, 1 minute and 40 to go. Theo is on an out lap. Wait until you see Theo's time. Umbragos, there we go, goes purple sector 1. So we know it's legit. He came up in the top right. So now he's trying again to get close to that Ferrari's time. Into turn 10. As we come up, we'll see what his sector 2 time is going to be like. No, it's not as quick as he would have liked. So through turn 14 and 15 we go. At the left hander, and then in towards the right hander at turn 16. This is where it could quickly change. Oh, and it does! The Alpine is round and into the wall. He was fighting for pole position, and we said how quickly it could change, and that's exactly what it did. So Umbragos will not be on pole position for this morning's race. Zetsu starts his flying lap. Priz is just coming round. Bulldog, you've got super skills on an out lap, but it will be the German driver that will be the first of the final runners around turn 16. And you can see Umbragos just went onto the throttle too early. And here comes Priz, and he goes up to P3 in front of his teammate. The Mercedes of Bulldog goes into the pit lane. And then you've got the Ferrari of Jabba. Is he improving? Player retired from the session. So up towards turn 11. And Jabba goes quicker in sector 2, so he is improving. This is some pace from the Ferrari driver. Is he now starting to... Oh, he's invalidated it. Jabba has invalidated it. He was going quicker. So the world champion will be next, and he does go purple. No, that's the Aston Martin, sorry, Zetu. Here comes Theo Townland down towards the start-finish line, and the world champion will start P2. Provisional front row for him. What about Zetu, who just went purple, sector 2? We know he's got pace. Oh, and he's spun it as well. Zetu has done the exact same thing as what the Alpine did. So Podge will be next. So that is 2 of the drivers losing the rears. Podge fighting for the constructors will start P3, and the final driver to the line will be Super Skills in the Red Bull, and he is not on pole position. He will start, I think that was P8, P7. So there you have it. Jabba takes pole position here in Qatar. Theo Townland, the world champion, will start on the front row of the grid with him in P2. You've got Podge, his countryman, in P3, and the number goes in the Alpine in P4. Locking out the third row, Priz and Zetu in the Aston Martins in 5 and 6. On the fourth row of the grid, it's Super Skills in P7 and Bulldog in P8. On the fifth row of the grid, it's NMX James in P9 and Mad Riot in P10. That is it for qualifying. So I just need to write these down. So did Priz out-qualify his teammate in the Aston? Yeah, I think he did, didn't he? Right, that's sorted. Making sure all the names are right. So we are moving on to the race. Here we go. Let's get ready to go racing. So Cinders with them cold tyres. So with the way it's gone at the moment, it's 11 o'clock. The race usually takes around 46 minutes, 47. Yeah, we should be finished by 10 to 12. So I've got about 10 minutes of practice. Oh, well, I've got most. So here we go. They all line up. Mercedes lines up. Oh, Bulldog. They're disqualified. So this is it for the season finale here in Tier 3 for Formula 7 racing, powered by Sim Racing Setups. It is round 20 here in Qatar. And it's lights out and away we go. Jabber in the Ferrari, got a decent start and he's already straight in front of Theo Thailand. Umbra Ghost is up a position in the Alpine. You've got the Ferrari trying to make the long way round, but then the Red Bull comes up the inside and look at the Aston Martins attacking and Umbra Ghost has spun it. He's round, he's lost a few positions. Through go the Ferrari and the Haas. NMX James and Nimblecat just picking up the pieces. Nimble is through and up 4 places into P8. Umbra Ghost is down 5 and a little bit of carnage in the grid. You've got the 2 Aston Martins staying in position, but Super Skills is up 3 places up to P4, and then you've got a little bit of drama behind. You've got Nimblecat in the Williams, NMX James, Formula Rise up 6 places in that Kick Sauber, Kevin Gamer and Matt. You've got Cinders down 4 and Shining Swarm in the Red Bull is down 7 places, but he's not got damage, and that's the main thing. So Theo Thailand chasing down Jabber in the Ferrari, the Sauber, the McLaren, the Red Bull, the top 4 here on the opening lap in Qatar. So, not a bad start for some of these drivers. 1.4 is the gap already. Jabber is rapid here. There goes Zetu, NMX James, already 2 track limits there for him. So the Aston Martin getting very aggressive on the back of Super Skills, wanting to get through at the earliest opportunity. But Jabber is flying. 1.8 is the gap. Here comes Zetu in the Aston Martin to the right hand side of the Red Bull. He will have the inside line into turn 1 and Zetu is through. What about Priz behind? He's going to be overtaken by Bulldog in the Mercedes. 1 Aston gains, 1 loses, but Priz is not going to let him have it. Goes right back up the inside of him, gets to move back and stays in P6. What about Zetu on Podge now? He's just took Super Skills and now he goes for one of the Constructors World Champions contenders of Podge in P4, but it is Zetu into the podium places. That's a bit of a mouthful, weren't it? Constructors Championship contenders. That is Kevin Gamer and Matt having a really tasty battle at the back. So everybody's really close. What about Bulldog in P7? Look at that, the aerial view. You've got Priz there. Bulldog, Super Skills. Matt picking up a track limit. That is Matt and Kevin Gamer going at it. And that is Vicious Vicar now. Does Vicious Vicar have damage? He doesn't, luckily. Priz in P6 is in front of Bulldog still and behind Super Skills. Kevin Gamer with his 2nd track limit, and Bulldog is just eyeing up a little move there, a bit sneaky, waiting to come through. Umbra Ghost in P9 has got to do some gaining because he made a vital mistake at the start. What about Zetu in the Aston Martin? Theo Thailand 3 seconds behind Jabber already. I don't know where the pace of Jabber has come from, but there goes Vicious Vicar on Kevin Gamer, moves up to P15. Shining Swarm on Cinders. The McLaren goes later on the brakes, locks up, and Shining Swarm, the Hong Kong driver, is through in that Red Bull. Zetu still all over the back of Theo Thailand, who are just dropping off the pace completely. The Mercedes of Bulldog. And you can see him chasing down the 2 drivers in front. That is a track limit for Matt on lap 3. So Bulldog not able to get the move done just yet. He is being patient and waiting. And then you've got NMX James, Mad Riot. You've got Doug on the back of Formula Rai. Formula Rai started at the back of this grid. He's up to P12, but he's still 2.5 seconds off NMX James. And now here comes Doug into the slipstream of the Sauber in front. And that is Zetu that's picked up a track limit in that Aston Martin. It's so easy to run wide, as we've just seen there. Kevin Gamer with a 3-second penalty. And look at this. You can see the drivers, every time they go around the corner, they're struggling to keep it in them boundaries. Zetu into the slipstream, and Theo Thailand moves over to the right-hand side. And he is through. Super Skills is through on Podge as well. That's what he needs to do if they want any chance. Theo Thailand comes right back at Zetu, and you can see in the distance there's a few drivers going at it. Formula Rai is into the pit lane. He's going for a huge undercut, maybe even a 2-stopper here in Qatar. He doesn't want any traffic in front of him. He just wants to go racing on his own. Bulldog not able to get through on the German of Pritzit. Oh, maybe he can actually, as Priz makes a mistake and Bulldog goes up the inside. Priz leaves in the room, and I must say, this is incredible racing here in Tier 3. There's been no incidents at all. A little bit of argy-bargy off the line, which you expect, but since then, it has been phenomenal. And the Mercedes goes up the inside of Priz, makes it through, and he's up to P6, through on Priz, on the Mercedes and the Aston. Going at it like cat and dog. What about Umbra Ghost on Nimble? Nimble up to P8. Matt picks up a 6 track limit warning. Needs to be careful. At this rate, he will be disqualified. Just needs to cool it off a little bit as Zetu runs wide again. Was that another track limit? It's just so easily done here in Qatar. And look at this, Zetu on the back of Field Timeline. They're now 5 seconds behind Jabba up the inside. They do slightly touch, but Zetu is through. And now comes back at him is Field Timeline, the man from Finland, the man from Sweden, going at it for P2 and P3. But it was the Aston Martin that got the DRS, even though he is the driver in front. Very well timed. Umbra and Nimble Cat getting very acquainted with each other. Nimble shoves him aside, and now he's got Bulldog in front, and he's going to go for the move on him. Nimble Cat in the Ferrari makes the move on the Mercedes, squeezing him as much as possible, but it's fair game here in round 20, and Nimble is up to lucky number 7. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Bowen. Literally last race of the season, he's gone, yeah, nah, none of this. Sand's out the bag, see you later. Kevin Gamer and Matt go through. Sorry, Shining Swan and Kevin Gamer go through on Matt as he's just brushed aside, and now he's got damage, and NMX James and Mad Riot. The Haas and the Williams. Zeta is cooking in P2. Well, he's probably a tier 2 driver really, but he races in tier 1 every time he races because that's the time he can make. So Field Timeline is coming back at him though, under the inside of turn 1. Can Zetu hold him? Because if you can stay wheel to wheel going into turn 2, you then have the inside line, but it's so difficult to do. And he does make the move, does Field Timeline. They're now 5.5 seconds behind Jabba. Oh, sorry, Bjorn, I just seen your message. No, he is. He's a tier 3 driver this season, but next season. No, next season he would be tier 3, wouldn't he? He was a tier 3 driver when he was racing in tier 3, but then he could never make the time, so he just started racing in tier 1. But looking at his pace, he's probably tier 2, so you don't know, do you? But then you look at tier 2 with the pace of tier 2, and it's rapid. So would it be best for him to race in the new tier 3 next season? Probably. We'll see. So Theo now 6 seconds behind Jabba. He can pretty much ease off at this point. He doesn't need to take any risk. What's going on, Real Aston Army? How are we doing? So DMB Super Skills doing a good job. He's in P4. We are 7 laps out of 29. Would it? They might be, but I don't know yet. Field Island on Zetu, and he is through. And the aerial shots are absolutely gorgeous. NMX James also gets through on Mad Riot, but we go back on board with Zetu, and the Sauber driver trying to make a move, and Zetu brushes him aside and gets a track limit off the track, obviously. So 6.5 seconds. There's a DRS train from P2 down to P5, but then the leader is just so far gone. Formula Right set in the fastest sector. So that pit stop working well for him at the moment. They're nearly 7 seconds behind Jabba. This is quite remarkable, actually. Mad Riot in P10. What about Theo? There, he's going at it again up the inside. Formula Right picks up a track limit because he is pushing. Podge picks up a track limit penalty, 3 seconds for him. There's a few drivers picking up now, which is always bound to happen. So DRS enabled for the kick Sauber. He's going to make his move down in towards turn 1, return the favour, and that he does. And then at the back, you've got a couple more drivers also scrapping for them points. You've got Vicious Vicar up to P12 as Priz pits. Shining Swarm is through. So Priz is going for that early stop. And why not at this stage? Nimble still on the rear diffuser of that Haas of NMX. James in front. Zetu still in P3, but him and Theo Townland have just gifted. Potentially at this stage, if a yellow flag comes out of VSC or something like that, Jabber is just going to be so far ahead if he takes the opportunity to pit. There's a yellow flag, and that is Umbra Ghost. That is Umbra Ghost in his round, and this has not been a great day of racing for Umbra Ghost. If he can turn this around, it will be incredible. From the end of qualifying to the start of the race to now in P13, you've still got 21 laps. Just stay with it. You never know what can happen. So Zetu still closing the gap. Surely this is just going to be 1 for 1 here. But DMB Super Skills got a better exit than the pair of them, and as they go down towards turn 1, both of these drivers could potentially make a move. Zetu goes left. Super Skills tries to follow him round. Theo Thailand sticks it up the inside, tries to stay with him, but it's the Aston Martin of Zetu that goes ahead. We ride on board with the Sauber driver, and he's literally pushing the Aston Martin through. Here comes Theo Thailand. He'll go the long way round of turn 4. They do touch. Off the track he goes. Through goes the Aston Martin. The Red Bull pulls away and says, I don't want to be part of that. The McLaren also watching on, seeing all the drama in front between Zetu and Theo Thailand going at it like cat and mouse. Great stuff. That's what you want to see. We're racing. Here comes Vicious Vicar on Doug. The Williams on the back of the Alpine. So, the fastest lap so far is Jabber. I don't know why he's in a Ferrari and wearing a Sauber suit. It was on lap 5. He said a 1:25.5. This is Vicious Vicar on Doug. He does make the move, goes through. Doug in the Alpine must have made a mistake because he's just found himself nearly a second behind. So he is going to get that DRS. Bulldog is into the pit lane. 10 seconds for him. 16 in total. And Bulldog will be kicking himself with that. There goes Theo Townland and Zetu once again. Look at Podge. 11 track limits for Matt at the moment. 19 laps remaining. So Kennedy would gap this grid. It's tier 3, man. There's a reason we have tiers and paces. Shabba in the lead by nearly 11 seconds. Theo Townland in the kick Sauber. Zetu, and he is coming at some pace on the back of Theo Townland. DMB, Super Skills, Podge, Nimble. What an awesome lineup that is in the top 6 there. And that is Priz that is through on cinders. Remember, Priz has gone for the early pit stop in that Aston Martin. Podge is really close now. Here he comes, and that is Podge in the McLaren that is through on DMB Super Skills. Zetu also makes a move on Theo Townland. And the more that these drivers battle, the the more Jabba just escapes, and there goes Podge, and Theo Townland is now down to P4. He's going to try and come back at him, though. His championship rival, when they were fighting for the championship, was between these two Swedish drivers. He does run wide, and you can see Podge trying to worm his way into that little opening, as you can see, up the inside. Formula I is through on Bulldog. Bulldog comes back at him. NMX James, let's have a look at this at the back. Remember, Formula I has gone for the undercut, and if he continues to battle with the Mercedes or Bulldog, the undercut is going to be worth nothing at the end of it. So he needs to do something and not just sit there. Lewis Hamilton 4, whatever. Who are you talking about? Nimble Cat is up to P5. The Ferrari driver is through on NMX James and Super Skills. And Super Skills got damage. He collides with Mad Riot. Mad Riot pulls out. Mad Riot's now got a missing end plate. DMB Super Skills does not have damage, but he is into the pit lane. So is Zetu. Mad Riot stays out even with that missing end plate. So he's saying too early for that stop. Remember, he started on the hard compound tyres. Nimble Cat is up to P4 here in Qatar. So Zeta and Super Skills into the pits. Bulldog through on Cinders. And then he gets the DRS. That's how you time it. So Super Skills will come out behind Formula I. So the undercut essentially did work, but he's got such a long way to go. And there is a Haas driver that is dropping down. Sorry, that's Matt just moving out the way of the grid. A blue flag for Matt. 13 seconds between Jabba and Theo Townland. No worries, Dazza, I'll get you added shortly. Formula I and Cinders. Cinders slots into P14, and DMB Super Skills, who's gone for the undercut, cannot waste much time behind these drivers, and that is it. The McLaren goes wide. DMB Super Skills picking up the pieces. Thank you very much, and see you later. That was a beautifully executed switchback from the Red Bull. That is Jabba into the pit lane. So this is where everything starts to change hands. Jabba has pitted. He's going to come out in front of the Red Bull of Shining Swarm, and he's coming out in P6 after he's pitted. So he's 12 seconds off the leader after pitting. That's incredible here in Qatar. So a lot of the drivers entering the pit lane. We've not had a single DNF in the opening 13 laps. But it is Theo Townland that now leads to Podge and Nimble. I bet you didn't think we'd be saying that this morning. So Bulldog picking up another track limit. Umbra Ghost and Doug. Umbra Ghost is through on his teammate. Was that tactical from the two Alpine drivers? NMX James is now chasing down Nimble Cat. Tell you what, Nimble showing incredible racing skills here, and there goes Podge and Theo Townland. Podge tries to go around the outside. Theo Townland holds him off, but then Podge is going to get the DRS into the slipstream. Look at the drivers behind. Podge is going to come, and the two Swedish drivers trade places. What about Nimble and NMX James behind? The Haas driver will have to go the long way round the Ferrari. SRL Matt retires in the pit lane. The Scuderia stays ahead, and just behind the Kick Sauber driver. So that... Oh, and Nimble has to slam on that brake pedal to avoid going into the back of Theo Townland. Bulldog is out in the pit lane as well. I mean, he does have about 20 seconds of penalties, but you never know what can happen. But with penalties, even if a safety car came out, it'd just kill your race anyway. So I understand it. So Podge leads Cinders down in P17. Who are these, Banana? Who are they? Yeah, but I don't know who they are. They're going on about Kennedy 750, and they're saying stuff like that. I mean, you guys can't see it, thank God, but absolutely disgusting what they're saying. If any of them are in the Discord, they need to be removed. Absolutely disgusting what he's just said. Very, very racist as well. So, Theo through on at Podge. Let's concentrate on the racing anyway and not some idiots in the chat. So, Theo Thailand in the Kicksour, back into the lead, fighting with his fellow countryman of Podge, Nimble. Watching this in front. Remember, Jabber is on the undercut. He's already pitted. Yeah, weird. Oh, Priz picks up a time penalty as we rode on board with him. What race is after this? It is Tier 2, mate. So, Nimble. Still chasing down Podge and Theo. And then you've got Vicious Vicar in P4 at the moment. He does have Jabber all over him. And I'm sure he'll quickly get past the Williams driver, especially on them fresher tyres. Let's have a look at the tyres at this point. So that's how we're looking. Remember Jabber with that undercut. Look at Zetu. 12 seconds behind Jabber. And that is pretty much the order that they'll be in. Podge on Theo Townland. Going to try and go around again. Switch it back up the inside. That is Jabber through on Vicious Vicar. And the Ferrari man makes no time. Wastes no time in getting past. And the two Ferraris are P3 and P4. Podge, can he go for it again? This one that you're watching, mate. So, Theo Townland leads to Podge, to Nimble. That is Mad Riot and Doug. They're both very exceptional drivers. And they'll race as cleanly as possible when it comes to it. And MX James picks up his second track limit time penalty. So, Theo, Podge, Nimble and Jabber are your top four. So, Theo Thailand does lead, but the provisional, that is the provisional. After all this is said and done, Jabber will be the race leader. He's going to go through on his teammate. Nimble lets him go, and Jabber, the chase is now on. He's essentially had a free pit stop. There goes Podge and Nimble into the pit lane. And everybody knows my pet hate is a 10-second time penalty in the pit lane because it's just so not needed. I would rather go exceptionally slow into the pit lane than get a 10-second time penalty. So Jabber caught back up to him and got a free pit stop. Priz has had to retire in the pit lane. Torres, are you already in the Discord, mate? So Umbra goes NMX James. It's probably a bit late, to be honest. The next race starts in 1 hour and 5 minutes. It's probably all done and dusted with all the reserves and everything, mate. We had to have too many drivers to have to put in seats, so it's really hard to try and get one on the day. So Umbra Ghost on NMX James. Alpine, Haas, here comes Jabber on Theo Townland, his free pit stop, and he goes up the inside. My goodness me, what, he's taking some risks considering he's a pit stop in front of everybody else. Wow, Jabber there, holding No punches. So up towards turn 16, and the Ferrari's just going to wait. He's going to get that DRS, and they'll do it the clean way. And Theo peels off into the pit lane. Vicious Vicar stays out on them hard compounds. And looking at the tyres, them hard compounds on around 50%. Theo's were on like 67. So that's because of all the battle he's been doing. So Jabra is back into the lead. Zetu, AMS Thailand is getting a front wing change, so he had damage. Here comes Super Skill, so he's going to go clear into P3 essentially when Vicious Vicar hits. Theo Thailand is going to come out way behind the pack, and Umbra goes now up to P6, but remember he pitted a long time ago. He's going to be on really old compounds. Not as bad as I thought. Well, yeah, it's a 47% mediums. So Umbra, Podge, and with these on fresh tyres, they should get past this Alpine relatively quickly. They shouldn't be held up or wasting time here. And remember, you've got James in the Haas. Super Skills. He's in 8.5 seconds of free air here, Super Skills. This is going to be a podium for the Red Bull. So Jabba, Vicious Vicar, Zetu. Zetu's caught up to Jabba a little bit because he's been racing in free air. There goes Vicious Vicar into the pit lane. He'll get his pit stop done. Theo Thailand sets the fastest Sector 2 of anybody so far. And Vicious Vicar means that Super Skills will be P3. Then you've got NMX James, Umbra goes Podge and Nimble. And I think NMX James, yeah, he's on hards, but he pitted a lot earlier than everybody else, so he went for that big undercut till the end of this race. Oh, the McLaren is into the back of Umbra Ghost, who went into the back of NMX James, and Podge now has damage. Theo Thailand gets through on Doug, the Sauber driver, through on the Alpine. The Ferrari luckily wasn't as close as Podge was, or he would have gone into the back of him as well. But Podge, who is fighting for the Constructors' Championship, has lost a front wing end plate. That could be crucial. That could be real crucial. Because if both the McLarens, well, I mean, if Cinders has just been passed by Mad Riot, but if Cinders finishes where he is, he's guaranteed points anyway at this point. So it's not as bad as you would think because of the point system here in F7R. So Nimblecat into the slipstream of Podge. He's probably going to wait for that DRS, but I tell you what, Podge is going to struggle a lot more than the drivers in front and behind. And here comes Nimblecat. He's going to make a move up the inside. The Ferrari driver goes wheel to wheel with the Swedish driver, and Nimblecat is through and up to P6, and Podge with that damage is starting to feel the pain and starting to struggle to turn the car in. Yes, he does peel off into the pit lane just after he'd pitted already to get fresh tyres. He is now back in for a new front wing. Oh, that's awful news for him. So Podge is going to come down in P13. I need to try and figure something out here because this is really close. Thank you so much for Kennedy. Why have you followed, man? I don't know what's going on with you, Kennedy, but there's a lot of hanging people going on about you in the chat. I don't know what the hell's even going on. You don't even race here. Like I don't even. I'm sure he was kicked out of this league about 3 years ago. I don't even know why people are joining, sending racist stuff. Let me have a look at the championship. Tier 3. Oh, Zetu's out in the pit lane. Why? Zetu is out. constructors. So the difference is 36 points between Alpine, Red Bull and McLaren, because Alpine and Red Bull are on the same points. So if it stays like this, McLaren would score 3 points if they stayed where they are, which is probably not going to happen because Vettel's just retired and mad rides on old tyres. But say they get 8. So that means Super Skills at the moment is getting 25 and the other Red Bull is getting 10. This is going to be close. This is going to be really close. That would be heartbreak though, wouldn't it? That would be heartbreak. So Jabba leads by 20 seconds with 8 laps to go. Umbragos chasing down NMX James, Nimblecat. Remember, James has got a 3-second time penalty. I tell you what, a podium for Nimblecat is not off the cards here. It really isn't off the cards for Nimblecat to get onto the podium. So Umbragos chasing down that Haas of NMX James. I'm pretty sure he's on older tyres. A little bit older anyway, and look at that, he's just got no battery at all, so he cannot catch up to NMX James. But they are catching up to Super Skills. That is Theo Tanland that is through on Nimble. He does have a time penalty, so if Nimble can stay with him. And the world champion, that is Formula I, that is Shining Swarm into the pit lane. So he's going for the double stop. That has not helped his Red Bull teammate if they're trying anything to win this Constructors. So Podge is through now on that Red Bull. But he is going to have 7 laps of fresh tyres to battle back with, his Shining Swarm. I mean, it's a lot to ask, 36 points to turn around in the final race, especially when points go down to P15. But 22.5 seconds between Jabba and P2 is just unheard of, isn't it? It's unheard of. So, James, Umbra, Theo, Nimble. Vicious Vicar in a great position after where he started as well. Theo Thailand, another track. Theo Thailand must have a lot of penalties here. Yeah, he's got 9. He's on the verge of getting 12. That is NMX James on Super Skills. So the Haas is through. And here now comes the Alpine as well of Umbra Ghost. Remember, the Alpine is also on the exact same points as the Red Bull in the Championship. They're currently P4 and P8. The McLarens are down in P10 and P13. Who knows? Who knows here? You're talking, if Umbragos can make up a few positions, you've got Jabba now got a time penalty, but he's way ahead. But you're talking NMX James with the time penalty. If he can get through on Super Skills, he's essentially finishing P2, which is 25 points. Then you've got Doug finishing with, I think, 15 points. 40 points minus the McLaren. This is going to be so close if it stays like this. So the Constructors' Championship, unbelievably, is actually still open here. Podge is 15 seconds away from Formula I, so he's probably not going to make up any more positions from where he is. So it's all on the Alpines now. Doug needs to start making up places on Vicious Vicar and Nimble in front. Maybe even trying to catch... Oh, he's got a time penalty though, hasn't he? So, Super Skills currently in at P3. The Alpine and the Red Bulls doing what they needed to do this evening. McLaren's on the other hand. But Cinders will finish. He knows them points are going to be vital. That is 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. I don't know. I don't think it'll be enough to beat McLaren. Unless the Alpines can make up a few more places. You never know. So, the old time, they're all spread out a little bit now. Remember, if you are looking for the perfect race setup, you can go over to Sim Racing Setups. Use the code F7R on checkout for a 5% discount. They do setups for not just F1, for iRacing and Assetto Corsa and Project Motorsport. You name it, they got it. Go and get your setups and use code F7R on checkout. You'll get a 5% discount on your order.
PNB Super Skills trying to catch up to James, but remember James does have a time penalty anyway, so he will take that position. 5.5 laps remaining. Oh, Podge with another. If he gets another, that'll be 6 seconds, and that will be it. But the question is, what can Theo Townland do on the back of Umbra Ghost and Super Skills? 11:36, 5 minutes. So yeah, we'll probably just have enough time to post everything and get tier 2 set up. Here we go. Theo Townland on Umbra Ghost, who's over to the right. They both have DRS, but it doesn't matter. Theo Townland will move through, and the Alpine goes up the inside, slams into him. Umbra Ghost is round, and that means Nimblecat should pick up the pieces. He is now on the back of Umbra Ghost, who might potentially have damage here. Wow, thank you for the follow. So Nimblecat is on the back of Umbra Ghost. Does Umbra have damage? He doesn't. So he's stayed clear of the damage. But looking at his tyres are 84% mediums. Is that right? 84% mediums. Umbra Ghost with a track limit penalty. So that means Nimble will finish in front of him, and Nimble will finish in front of Theo, and potentially in front of NMX James as well if they can bridge that gap by about a second. Wow. Who knows? Who knows? I think Doug might actually finish in front of Theo as well if he can catch up a little bit. He's on hard. NMX James is in the pit lane. With 3 laps to go, James has pitted. And why? He's on 44% old hards. Why is he pitted? 4 mediums. I don't think there was any reason to. There goes Nimble through on Umbra Ghost. And I tell you what, Nimblecat and Super Skills are both on for a podium here in Qatar. What a way to finish. So, with 3.5 laps remaining, Jabba leads to Theo Townland, to Super Skills, to Nimblecat. Theo with 12 seconds of penalties means that Super Skills and Nimblecat will finish on the podium here in Qatar. Yes, you heard that right. What a way to end the season. Vicious Vicar is through on Umbra Ghost. Umbra Ghost is pulling to the side. Oh, he's got a puncher. Umbra Ghost has a puncher. We were just saying how old his medium tyres were, and Umbra Ghost has a puncher on lap 27. He will participate no longer in the front running of this Grand Prix. He's going to have to go into the pit lane. He's going to have to get some fresh tyres with 2.5 laps to go. Theo Townland picks up another 3 seconds. This is getting spicy. Who's going to win? Umbra Ghost and Doug have thrown it all away. They were fighting for the constructors. He's got a puncher. They are now out of contention. But can the Red Bull do anything? Wow. So Vicious Vicar is now catching up to Nimblecat. They know that they are fighting for a podium here. Nimblecat evolves into Nimble Tiger. Umbra Ghost retires in the pit lane. So Nimblecat knows he's got Vicious Vicar on the back of him, who would love to take away this podium. 2 of the OGs, 2 of the old-time dogs racing it out, scrapping it out for a podium in the season finale. It couldn't have ended any better. Jabba leads by 23 seconds. He has been untouchable for this whole race. There's literally nobody has even come close to him. Theo Townland has got the fastest lap of the race, but he has been so far off the pace this evening with so many time penalties. But here comes Vicious Vicar. So, Nimble and Vicar. The combined age older than the whole of F1. Nimble and Vicar fighting it for a podium here in Qatar. Oh, I love them. I love them both. Great, great people. Oh, Vicious Vicar picks up his first track limit on lap 28. Here he comes, the Williams driver. Nimble knows he has to hold on. 2 laps to go. The Ferrari driver's got the outside line. Here comes Vicious Vicar up the inside. The Williams will go for the move. The Ferrari stays in front. Vicious Vicar being extra cautious. He doesn't want to make a move and ultimately throw it all away at this stage in the race. He knows he's going to have another DRS chance down the straight, and he knows that he's on fresher tyres by a long way to Nimblecat. Nimblecat, you can already see, is struggling on their mediums, and Vicious Vicar knows he's going to have an opportunity at this down the pit straight. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. 1.5 laps to go. We ride on board with Vicious Vicar, who's 3/10 behind Nimble. Can Nimble hold on through turn 8 and 9? Jabba's just coming down the pit straight to start the final lap of the season finale here in Tier 3 for the Qatar Grand Prix, powered by Sim Racing Setups. Down out of turn 10, through turn 11, up towards turn 12 for the Ferrari and the Williams. The Ferrari got a little bit away from the Williams there. Is he starting to just push a little bit as they come around the final sector and then down towards the final lap? Vicious Vicar will be eyeing up that DRS, and look at that, he's got a full battery. So has Nimblecat. Well, Nimblecat's got half a battery. Vicious Vicar has been saving it for this opportunity for the podium. The Ferrari will burn it, so will the Williams. DRS activated, battery is burning. Vicious Vicar will have to go the long way round as the Ferrari covers off the inside line, and the Ferrari does go up the inside. They do touch. Nimble gets a little side swipe, and the Williams is in front, and Nimble will be down into P4 as it stands. Vicious Vicar is now clearing the podium with them fresh tyres, and off he goes. Still an unbelievable result for both of these drivers. This is what we're talking about. This is why we love Formula 7. So, Vicious Vicar, Jabba picks up another time penalty. Field time with 15 seconds. And that means Vicious Vicar and Nimble, 17 seconds. He is just racking them up, isn't he? DMB Super Skills is going to finish P2. Here comes Jabba to win here in Qatar. Jabba has been unstoppable here in round 20. Theo Tarland, the world champion, is going to come through to take P2, finish on a high, finish on one of the top steps, finish on the podium. Theo Tarland, the man from Sweden, will come through. He picks up another time penalty. He's not bothered. He's going to weave to the line and he will take P2. Then comes DMB Super Skills to finish on the podium in P2. Here comes Vicious Vicar. What a drive. P3 for him, and Nimblecat in P4. An exceptional drive from two unbelievable drivers. So the two Saubers 5 and 6. So that does mean, as it stands, I think McLaren have done enough to be crowned Constructors World Champions here in round 20. So well done to them. They did what they needed to do. Oh, incredible to watch that, Nimble, you and Vicar. You nearly, it's like that saying, isn't it? You nearly had me, you never had me, you never had your car. It was so close, it was so close, it was really good. It's simply lovely. that's how you go out with a bang. Round 20. 20 races and it all comes down to that. 6 months. So close to a podium. Oh, it was so good. There you have it on the top step. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. There you have it. So close, Nimble, so close. Be right, thank you so much for the subscription. 44 months in a row, 49 in total. Now that is dedication, let me tell you. Thank you all so much for the support. Right, everybody, I'm going to go and do at least 2 laps in tier 2, maybe. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Driver of the day could have been Nimble or Vicious Vicar, but it seems as though Vicious Vicar came from 14th and finished on the podium. We'll give it to Vicar here this evening. but it could have been Nimble as well. Formula I, it could have been Formula I. But yeah, I mean, Jabba could have been Jabba. He absolutely domination. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in, guys. I need to try and sort something where we can interview tier 3 as well before tier 2, something like that. Anyway, yeah, thank you all so much for the support. Really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll be back for tier 2 very, very shortly. In fact, what we'll do is we'll just seems as though we've got a few of us in. We'll just raid somebody quickly. Yeah, thank you all so much. We're going to be back for tier 2 very, very shortly. So make sure you stay for that. I appreciate all the support. I will have something to say at the end of tier 1 tonight, so I'll do all the talking there. But let's go and raid somebody, and then we'll raid this person. He looks all right. Right, thank you guys. Take care, and I will see you on the next one.